What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Twisted Life of TV. I am Poetry. We are going to the movies. I haven't been in probably about 2, maybe 3 months. I don't know. I know it's been, I think, maybe 3 months. I haven't been to the movies. And this is the first time in a very long time that I'm going without my child. And that's because I made a last minute decision. Like, I'm going to the movies. That's basically how it went down. I'm going to see Sarah's Oil. I haven't seen many previews on it. All I know, it is a period piece. And if I'm not mistaken, it's about a 13-year-old black girl, or she's a preteen, who ended up discovering oil on her land. And it's based on a true story. After that, I don't know who, or don't know what the movie is about. I don't know who the actress is, the little girl. She looks like she could have been the one who played Diane on Lovecraft Country. I'm not sure. Shaniqua Martin Green. She was on The Walking Dead and Star Trek Discovery. I know she's in this movie. Other than that, I am totally clueless about what the movie entails. I am late. The movie's showtime is at 12:55. It is 12:58 right now. But I think our theaters have 15 to 20 minutes of previews. So if that's the case, I will make it there right when the movie begins. I will miss all the previews. I normally like to watch the previews, so I like to see what's coming out. But there's really hasn't been any good movies. It's been at least 2 months. We didn't go in October. And I don't think we went to the movie in September. So it's been probably 3 months that I've actually seen a movie in a theater. I'm a theater goer, but the movies that they have been presenting have not been interesting to me. I want to say I live like 15 minutes from the theater. It'd probably take me about 3 minutes to get across the parking lot. So I got my food order for $1.15. So I should be able to, get there at the start of the movie. I realized the other day I was going through my movie files. I was starting to review a lot of movies again because I'm watching a lot of older movies on Discord, and I just decided to review them. I just did Posse the other day, 1993 Mario Van Peebles movie. If you haven't seen the review, go ahead back and watch that. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. I'm still on the road to 5,000. Shout out to all the new people who have subscribed to the channel since I began this quest. What I used to do, I used to give y'all conversation before I go into the theater. That used to be my thing, whether it would be a movie or a Broadway musical. We would talk for a minute, and then I'll go in the theater, watch the movie. I don't bootleg, so you're not going to see any of it. Then I come out the theater, and I tell you how I felt about it. So that's what I'm going to do today. We're going to see Sarah's Oil. I don't know why. I'm just tell you off the top, though, off the rip. It seemed like an interesting subject matter because I wonder what happened to this 13-year-old, or this, I think she was 13, but I know she was a child. This black child oil tycoon. What happened to her? If this was really based on a true story. I have never heard of her before. I do not believe she exists right now. Did they burn her down like they burned down a lot of black royalty, black legacy? Is that what happened to her? What happened to this young girl? That's what I'm interested in seeing. Learn just a little bit more history. Maybe it's fictional. And even if it's fictional, then it's going to be a feel-good, inspirational story for me, hopefully. That's what I want to get out of it. I'm cleaning up. That is exactly what I'm doing right now. I'm cleaning up. Told y'all in a few days, my daughter's friend's going to swoop through to find out if they still need a place to stay, and whether or not they're staying with us is going to be something that they see themselves doing. And I think it'll be just for a few months. I'm not sure, but I think just for a few months. But in the meantime, I got to get back to doing what makes me happy, and being in that house, cooped up in that house. That's all I'm doing is going to work for an hour, coming home, and I sleep, child. I sleep. I go to the doctor and clean up, rinse, cycle, and repeat. That's what I've been doing for the past 3 months, and I am not happy in the least bit. It's probably why I've been watching so many movies on Discord. So hopefully we're going to get to this theater, and hopefully I can get to this theater within the next 8 to 10 minutes. If I didn't have this slow-ass Tesla in front of me, I could be doing it, so let me go around them. Because, like, once I get on the highway, it's the next exit. I just hop on the highway to the next exit and then make a right. 2 lights down is the movie theater. It's at the mall. Maybe I'll give y'all some footage of me going in the theater. Hopefully I can get in the theater. First, I got to first think about that shit. Hopefully I can get in the theater because I couldn't use my daughter's account. I don't know why they don't allow her to put our names, individual names on the tickets. I had to use her account to get my ticket because for some reason I couldn't access my AMC account. I kept trying and it wouldn't allow me to reset my password. I know my passwords. I know my password, but it said I didn't know it, so I put in forget password so I could send me the reset password link. Never got that link, so I haven't been able to access my own account. And usually with my daughter's account, because she has, we got that priority listing account, it gives us, tells us that we have to bring an ID. I don't have an ID that has my daughter's first name. So we'll see. We'll see if they allow me to get it because I got food ordered. And I just realized I ain't paid this girl for the ticket. She bought it for me. I got to give her money back. I could zell it over to her. Yeah, we'll talk about this movie, see if I enjoyed it, see if I liked it, come out the theater, give y'all a first impression. And I go from there, child. But hopefully I can get in. That's the first thing. So far we did 9 minutes of previews. So I will have 11 more minutes of previews to go if I'm correct. And my food's supposed to be ready at 11:15. I know they don't check the ID about the food. They just ask you what your name is. I tell them what my name is and I grab it and go. I just basically got some chicken strips. They chicken strips at this movie theater is so freaking fire. Some chicken strips and a kid's popcorn and with a kid's beverage. That's what I ordered. So I definitely got to pay her money back. I had a coupon though. I used to do Nielsen TV ratings, and when I moved to Florida, that stopped. Actually, when I moved to my house, that stopped because when I was in my 2-family flat, I used to go all the time. They used to invite me out to see movie viewings and things like that, see movie screenings, and I hadn't got invited since I moved from that house, from a 2-family flat, which was 2005. That's how long it's been since I've actually been a Nielsen rating reviewer. And I got a letter here in the mail the other day, and I was like, oh, maybe I have an opportunity to do the reviews again. So they sent me a $5 coupon to do the movie, to go to the movies here, based off me doing the survey, which I hope that the survey was going to prompt them to say, hey, you still want to do reviews again? Because I would say yes. My food order, now it came to my phone and my food order was ready. Interesting. Never had that happen before. I want to be in this lane because that lane don't never move like it need to. I'm 5. I believe the preview stopped in 9 minutes at 1:15. I think I'm 5 minutes from the theater. My lips dry as a bone. Let me put some accessories on so I don't look so bland and washed out. And we got 10 minutes. So I'll leave a timestamp for when the actual movie review begins. And then, yeah, we'll see how it goes. All right, y'all. See you in a few.
great adventure. Exclusively in theaters, December 19th.
All right, y'all. Let's start off first. Sarah's Oil. I am fresh out of the theater. Oh man, Sarah's Oil is again about a self. I can't even. Is she a self-made millionaire? An accidental millionaire. Named Sarah Rector, Rector. I'll spell it out for you because I think you should research who she is. I had never heard of her in my life. She was a 11-year-old oil tycoon, the young black woman of the Creek Nation, Creek Territory in Oklahoma. Hold on, let me see if I can get my screen a little cleaner. I think that looks a little bit better. So, oh man, I think that it's a movie that people should see. I do not think that it was big screen ready. Probably a good made for TV movie, but people don't watch movies on TV much anymore. They stream everything. I don't know. So I do like that it came to the theater. Put it that way. I do like that it came to the theater. I just don't think that people are going to draw to it. One, because I haven't seen any advertisement for real. I happened to find out about this movie because I saw a post on Instagram. And I think when it was posted on Instagram, you know how when people leave comments, I was the only person that left the comment. And I think it had like 11 hearts or likes. So it's not getting the promotion that it should have for a big screen production. So made for TV, maybe a Netflix original movie type situation, is where maybe it could have went. So this is supposed to be a feel-good movie, an inspirational movie in the end, because in the end she came out on top. But I think I was more pissed off the whole movie. I think I was pissed off the entire movie. Even at the end, I still felt like maybe she had still got duped. So Sarah Rector, 11 years old. At this particular time in the movie, I believe it was 1907, they said that the black people were, everybody was just coming out of the slavery era. A lot of people were just finding out that they were free. We know that 1865 is when Juneteenth happened, but there still was a lot of states that still had not ended slavery back when that emancipation happened. Oklahoma must have been one of them because I believe, was this movie started in 1907? 1907 is, yeah. So when the emancipated people, or when the people were emancipated, they were moved into Creek territory, right? They called a lot of the black freed slaves the Creek freedmen. I've learned through my ancestry research that a lot of people have freedmen papers. However, I don't know if they were in the Oklahoma territory. So being part of the Creek freedmen, because like most of the people that I've seen in my family that I researched for have been like Arkansas, Alabama, Tennessee. So I'm not sure which freedmen tribal lands that they ended up on. So because they were part of the Creek freedmen, once they were emancipated from slavery, they were given land as part of their free status, right? So her parents had already been given some land for which they had built their cabin on, their home, their house on. And Sarah, being, I guess, of age at this particular time, Sarah was eligible to receive land as well. She was given 160 acres of land. You don't hear a lot of people talking about that. You always hear about the 40 acres and a mule and how people didn't get their 40 acres in a mule. Some people did indeed get their 40 acres, but the land was taken back from them. And this is pretty much what was going on in this whole movie, was Sarah's fight for her land. Okay, so she had these 160 acres of land. Once she received the land 6 years later, she's still living on it, roaming free. She didn't know what to do with it. They run really farming on it, tilling on it, nothing like that. She didn't know what to do with the land. Her parents was trying to encourage her to just sell it, right? But every once in a while, she would go out in the field alone by herself, and she would just feel the earth move beneath her. She thought that was God talking to her, God telling her that He had gifted her this land, and this land is for you. And this was the language that she was speaking back to God, And so she was a very, very intelligent young lady. She had been taught to read. She was very good with numbers and negotiation. And she had been learning about all the different Cherokee lands or Indian tribal lands that they were finding oil on. And she said she knew that the rumble that she was hearing from God was oil on this here their land. Okay. So she convinced her parents, we got oil. I know it. I feel it in my bones. I hear it. The parents didn't believe her at all, but they said, you know what, we're going to rock with little Sarah. We're going to go with her. So she convinced her daddy to go out in town and to go meet up with these different oil companies that drill the land and see if we strike gold, or strike oil. So they did. They went into town. The first place that the daddy went to, the man, said in no uncertain terms, ain't nobody here that can help you. Go on about your business, right? The next place they walked into, they didn't even bother to give him kind words. They just tossed him out. It looked like like Jazzy Jeff on Fresh Prince being tossed out. That's exactly what happened, right? They go to this third location. They first thought the man was a janitor. So he was working his way around the facility. Basically, he wanted to pretend so he could talk to the big wigs. And when he finally made it into the big wig office, he told him, look here, we got land. My daughter wants y'all to drill on it. Believe it's oil on it. And at first he said, no, everybody think they got oil on their land these days, right? And then he told them where the location of the land was. It was in the tribal lands. And so he said it piqued his interest because everybody was bubbling with oil. Different tribes were popping up with oil on their land. So it piqued his interest. Well, he came to cut a deal with the daughter. The daughter came in, and like I said, she was good at negotiations. Good, she understood the terms and everything. He offered her 50 cents a share, and she was like, "No, you need to pay me more than that. I know my land is worth more. The minimum of the minimum value is at least $2, so you're gonna have to come with at least three." And he was like, and then she said, and then we need royalties off of that too. I need my royalty. He said, okay, I'm gonna give you 0.5% or 0.5 points. 0.5 points, yeah, for the land. She's like, nope. Standard is at least 12 and a half, sir. You're gonna give me at least 12 and a half. And he ended up negotiating with her down to 8. He said it was the best offer he could do. Now, being that he was the only person in town willing to talk to them, that sounded like the best deal. So he was trying to, have her daddy sign off on everything. She's like, no, this is my land. I'm the one that you're making a deal with. He's like, well, we got to do this. We got to bring in the tools. We got to bring in the workers. We got to do this. We got to do that. It's going to cost us a lot of money. Right? She said, well, okay, all fine and dandy. But you need to lease the land from me first. See, they thought that they was going to come in and just take her land. And she's like, no, you're going to have to lease it from me. You ain't got no ownership. You're going to lease the right to drill. Okay. And then they made the negotiation about how much whoever was going to get paid off of that if they strike oil. Okay. So after 3 months, they said, they did a 6-month deal, y'all. They was going to be able to drill for 6 months and see what happens at the end of 6 months. Well, the 3 months came around. He was like, you know what? We can't find no oil. It's all drying up. We're going to leave. And she was like, leave him. She said, well, what about your equipment? You need to take all that stuff with you then. He's like, oh, no, it's going to cost us more money to move the equipment. We want to just leave it there. You can have it. It's yours. Okay. Ain't nothing we can do with it. 3 months of drilling and the well run dry is what they said. But their initial agreement was 6 months. So I was already pissed. I was like, oh, he playing little Sarah. And if it wasn't for Sarah, he'd have got her daddy because her daddy didn't know what the hell was going on with the negotiations and everything. But they left. So after she left, or after they left, maybe about a month later, an Irish bub rolled up on the land, said he want to offer her $2 for the land. Then it went to $3 for the land. Then it ended up being $6 final, $8 final offer. It kept going up to final offers. He was like, "It's the final offer I'm gonna give you." And then Sarah was telling her dad, "Nope, don't do it." Mm-mm. And they like, that's a lot of doggone money we passed up. $8 an acre, 160 acres. They basically was gonna give them $1,000 for this land. Just rounding it off. And I love her dress. Okay, and so then but Sarah was like, no, we can't do that. We can't give you the $8 or $8 a share. We can't sign off on it, nothing like that. And he was like, he gonna come back. So Sarah mama was like, yeah, we passed us a lot of money we passed up. We gotta pay $30 next month on property tax. We can't afford that. We don't have the money. And you turning away $1,000 for 160 acres of land. Sarah saying, think about it, mama. Don't be stupid. Now the company, the professional man, just came drilling and drilling away. 3 months of drilling. Claimed that my land was dried up, wasn't nothing there, and he walked away. And now some random ass man who ain't never stepped foot on my land come in here and offer me $8. No, our land is worth something. Well, later on, that same man came back with another guy. They wanted to get the deed. Well, before they arrived, though, Sarah's mama thought, she did think about it. She was like, you're right. It don't make sense for them to come offering all this money for this land if it ain't worth nothing. Sarah convinced her mama, God gave me this land for a reason, so we going to keep it. So she came up with the idea to bury the deed. Because whoever had the deed, that's who had owned the land. So while they was out there trying to bury the deed, that's when the Irishman and his little buddy came back, and they came back and try to ransack the house, try to find the deed, and end up shooting the damn dog, y'all. I was like, did they kill the damn dog? So now Sarah's like, they came all the way out here to kill my damn dog. So it got to be worth something, right? So the owner of the oil company that left the drill equipment there decides to come back and saying that they gonna offer her now $12 a share, $20 a share. They keep going up and up and up. And Sarah said, I thought you said the land was dry. He said, well, you owe me for my equipment. No, sir, I don't owe you nothing. I told you to take it with you. And now he's saying to Sarah, put him off the land and broke the contract. And she was like, nope. So he pulls out another contract. He's like, I still leasing this land and all the equipment on there. Anything y'all find is mine. And Sarah say, dude, no, you done try to kill my damn dog? Ain't no doggone way, right? So she goes off looking for her little fucking dog and didn't find the dog. She came up on a yard where, like Home Depot type of dudes, people out there looking for work. They got skills, and most of the people got skills to drill. The first little black guys that she rolled up on, they made a joke about the dog dying, so she moved on. And she ran up on the white guy. She had run into him in town earlier. She went to this diner while her daddy was out there trying to talk to the different oil companies. She went to this little diner to get her a drink of water. And of course, it was a whites only little place. But this white man bought her a lemonade, and she sees him now. Well, come to find out, he's what's the word? What they call him? He's a con man. He a grifter. He does what he can to try to make it rich and strike the next big deal, lose all his money and try again. He go through the obituaries looking for women, rich women whose husbands just died, and try to make financial deals with them and take all their money and all their goodness. So that's where she was at. But she just remembered this man being kind to her. Well, she convinced him to come and drill on the land. I already got the equipment. You know, he had a best friend, a Mexican guy named Mace. Actually, Mace's name was very long. It was like Mario Alexandro. I can't even think of what a C name would be. Carlos Enrique something. It was long, so they just called him Mace. So him and Mace come out there and they start working the tools, and then the oil dude come back again, trying to negotiate some more and telling them we're gonna take this damn land back because it's rightfully mine. Like I said, they had this little contractor. He had scratched out or smudged the original date and put a new date over when the contract expired. And Sarah was like, "No, sir, I remember the date because I remember what I did at school that day. It was September 9th, 1912. You know what I'm saying? This is my land, sir, not yours. You have no more rights to it. Your lease has expired. So shall your presence expired. Be gone." You know, they Mace and the guy named the white guy, his name was Bert Smith. Mason Bert Smith, they end up having a standoff, you know, with weapons. The two guys that came up there and shot the dog, they was with the oil company, and they got this standoff with each other, right? Well, as time goes on, it became a fight that the oil company is going to take this land from her one way or the other, right? And Bert and Mace still working hard to try to get the oil up where it wasn't happening. The deeper they dig, they still wasn't finding nothing, but you still hear it under the ground. Well, they decided to take some oil samples in the town. Went in the town, got the oil test, and the dude told them that the oil was bad. It was some shitty oil. It was even harder to get, right? Well, come to find out, this dude was working for that oil man. And the truth of the matter was, the oil was actually a lot better than he said it was going to be. Well, they decided to take this oil and go into the black part of town, where it's a geologist in there, self-taught. That's how black people were doing. They was teaching themselves tricks of the trade. This is one of the things I say about college, too. You don't necessarily have to pay to go to college. You can still read the same books that they do in college. A lot of them are study book workbooks, have the tests in the back, have the answers in behind them. You can teach yourself some skill set, but they want you to have degrees in this day and age, and them degrees ain't what they cracked up to be. Hell, half the damn jobs that they offer right now paying entry level dollars, but want you to have a fucking master's and things like that. But back in the day, the black people had their own towns, which the white folks called coon towns. And then, so we got the little race aspect in there to show the racism, you know, with the whites only diner, the coon, calling them coon town, and how Sarah was taking offense to that. She thought that Bert was a good white man. And he was like, you know, some people just naturally say it. How did it become natural to say it if it was something that's not in your caliber? You know what I'm saying? So all through this whole movie, everybody is trying to fuck Sarah out of her damn land. Like I said, not knowing this is a girl that know how to read, not knowing this is a girl that know about math, know about negotiating skills, know about the oil, know about the land, you know, about the rates and stuff that should be paid. Come to find out, some in those other tribal lands that oil had been struck, the kids that owned that land were getting killed. So when the kids got killed, the land was being grabbed. Because what was happening in Oklahoma, because they didn't want black people to own land, especially the kids, because a lot of the kids were coming into ownership of acres and acres of land like this. So in order for them to have their land stolen from them legally, Oklahoma made it a law that the black kids had to have a white guardian. Okay? So what was going on was the white guardians was having these kids sign over their deeds to them or sign over guardianship to them, which gave them full rights to act on their behalf financially and what basically control over their whole life, like Sarah said. And when they did so, they would negotiate deals with these oil companies to steal that land from their child. And that's basically what they was trying to do with Sarah. And Sarah and them wasn't having it. So Bert was going to bat for her. But then, they basically told Bert, oh, they gonna kill Sarah regardless, right? So it was a white woman. I don't know where she was from. She showed up with the marshal in order to tell them about the other kids that had been getting killed. And by Sarah being initially from the Creek territory, she knew who these children were. She went to school with these children. Again, they was 11, 12, 13-year-old children that had 160 acres of land, and they was striking oil on these lands, making them rich, so the white folks were stealing it from them. So every corner that Sarah turned, she was coming up against somebody else trying to take her land. Now they trying to take her livelihood. She got 2 parents alive and breathing, well off, got their own land of their own. But Sarah needed to have a white guardian. You couldn't just have a regular black guardian because they said the black people was too stupid to know anything about money and about taking care of land. So she had to have a white guardian. So once this went through court, Bert had made a deal with the oil company to get him to be paid 15 points. Now, again, the standard royalty was only 12. Bert needed something out of the deal. So what he was going to do was take guardianship of the land, take the land and sell it off to the oil company. I thought he was playing. I thought he was tricking them. But he had a conversation with Mace and realized that, no, he really meant what he was saying. And Mace was like, who the fuck are you? He said, we've always been, getting rich and things like that, but we ain't never stole to do it. Especially from somebody like Sarah. I like her. Okay? Sarah was so fucking pure of heart, so innocent, so trusting. Nobody else really trusted Bert because he was running kind on different women. The oil rig messed up, malfunctioned, got stuck, and they needed to buy something actually they thought about blowing it up, letting the thing cave in, or if it didn't cave in, it was gonna make the oil come up, but they wasn't sure. So they came up with another idea to drop a hook down in there and try to twist it out with the hook to get it unstuck. And they needed $2,000 to do that. They got turned down at the bank. The bank didn't want to give them no loan on no oil no muddy oil, muddy dirt as collateral. And then the bank did tell them to, and then that you ain't even sure if you're gonna hit oil, and if they do, that the oil company gonna come back and try to take the land. So we basically losing here if we gave to you. So where am I at in this story? They ended up paying $800 for the dynamite to try to blow it up because they couldn't afford to get the hook. And the guy who was selling them the dynamite was like, oh, yeah, I know about you. Now the word is spreading around town that Sarah got this land and it's possible oil on it. And since the oil companies are coming at them left and right, they everybody knows that land is worth something. Everybody knows that Sarah got oil. So everybody trying to get a piece of the pie. But Bert, like I said, was already cutting side deals left and right. They go to court. She tried to fight for the right to have her parents keep their guardianship of her. The white lady who showed up with the sheriff, I can't remember her name now, but she was like, let me get guardianship over. And she explained that all these guardians have been stealing this land from these kids, and she want to protect her. She got the NAACP down there with her, you know what I'm saying, backing her up so that way she could provide safety. It's all over the news. It is all over the news everywhere about Sarah and this land and whether or not she get the rights to keep her doggone land. So the judge ended up giving Bert the guardianship, and Bert did exactly what he said he was gonna do. He went and cut that deal with the oil company, and Sarah was like, "I thought you were supposed to protect me. I thought you were supposed to protect me. Like, where's your soul?" You know, Bert didn't have one at that particular time. Mace even said something to him about where the fuck is your soul. Didn't have it at the time. So basically, Bert sold off her damn land to this oil company. Well, even after that happened, the two henchmen came back to their property and tried to kill them. Sarah and them was able to escape. Sarah, her little brother, was able to escape into the Cherokee lands where her mom and her daddy defended the house. Mace ended up getting killed by the oil people. You know, because he was out here trying to protect the family. When the lady and the NAACP dude came because they wanted to do a story with Sarah about what was going on, they ran into Bert on the road. He was waiting for Mace, and Mace never came. Well, he don't know that Mace is dead at this particular time. They go to the house. It takes them a long time because every time they travel from town to the house, it would go from light to dark. They travel to the house. They hear the story about what happened. You know, they still trying to kill off Sarah, and then they found out that Mace done got killed too. So now they need to come up with a plan because they gonna know they gonna keep trying to go until they kill Sarah. The land ain't rightfully theirs, even if sold by the guardian, until she's no more. Okay. She has to die. Otherwise the land rights refer back to her at a certain age or something like that, right? Whether they sell it, whether the guardian sells it or not, apparently. A lot of the people didn't know that. So they work something out where they go back in front of the judge and try to change guardianship. So the judge was like, well, we can't do that. But the judge, wanted to help her out as well. So the judge was like, well, I see some residency issues. Because Bert was from Texas. He wasn't from Oklahoma. And it wasn't a written rule, but the judge said there's an unwritten rule that you're supposed to be a resident of Oklahoma in order to be a guardianship. So he was able to switch the guardianship over to the white lady, but it didn't matter because they still came looking for Sarah. They chased Sarah all the way down into Creek territory. The natives that were there, after they started shooting at Sarah and her brother, the natives rolled up on them and arrested them for trespassing on the land. I don't know how they got free though, because the next day they was back with the oil company approaching the land again where Sarah and them had the oil rigs and everything, still saying that they finna take hold of the land. They showed up with a doggone 50 cal machine gun to kill off Sarah and her family. Bert and them had the bright idea to just blow the damn thing. If we can't get it, they can't either, right? Well, when they blew it, it didn't cave in. It produced oil. A lot of damn oil. The Cherokee Nation came in. They had their guns right. They was ready to defend the land, Sarah's land as well, against the oil company. But once it struck, the oil came up, and they was like, the guy was like, this is still my oil, because he's still trying to claim that he owns the land, because he got guardianship, even though the judge already took the guardianship away. He was like, no, that's null and void. It didn't matter because he didn't live here. They didn't care. They didn't care what the law said. But once they struck the oil, everybody came out of the woodwork. Baby, this land was, like I said, the land was far away from town. But everybody was there. Everybody came through. Even the judge and the marshal showed up together to see that she had really struck oil. And she was able to fend off the oil company with her words. You know this is my doggone land. Okay. The oil company dude pulled out his gun. Everybody there pulled out his gun and decided he was finna shoot Sarah. Well, Sarah's daddy had a gun of her own, and pop, pop, boom, boom, bam, shot him. He didn't die though. I thought he got shot right in the chest, but somehow he did. He still survived, unfortunately. But Sarah kept her land. Um, we learned later in life that Sarah ended up meeting Rockefeller. Y'all know the richest guy in the world at the time. She met Rockefeller. Rockefeller paid her $36 million. Now, again, in the beginning, what they was offering her was $1,000 for her land. It went up to as high as $20 per acre for her land. And she ended up getting paid $36 million. And then there was another little area that was established called Drumline down in Oklahoma that they established with different oil fields that Rockefeller had ended up developing along that nation. So they took a lot of tribal land for those oil rights, which has still pissed me off. I should be happy that Sarah made her $36 million, but she no longer has her oil, and they are still producing oil on that land today. This was 1913 when this happened. When they struck oil, it was 1913. It's 2025. They are still producing oil on that land, and she's still getting royalties from her. I do remember that. Even in the negotiation that she made with Rockefeller, he paid her the $36 million, and she's still getting royalties. The little diner where the lady treated her like shit, she bought that damn diner and made it a all race diner. It was whites only, made it open for everybody because Sarah was just open like that. I don't remember where in Taft. It was Taft, Oklahoma. I was like, I don't remember where in Oklahoma was. It was Taft, Oklahoma. Yeah, she moved on, made it up to Kansas City, bought her a big house in Kansas City. Did a lot of different things with a lot of different celebrities, black celebrities, and she ended up getting married at age 18. And I had never heard of this woman before in my life. But now it makes me want to go look up Sarah Rector and see what else she was able to achieve in the city of Kansas City, Missouri, I believe. Yeah, Kansas City, Missouri is where she ended up. And to find out what else she was able to do. So I would recommend people go see it. I think it's a decent movie. But just know that it's going to just be like just watching a good movie on TV. Because it wasn't theatrical enough for me to be on the big screen. But I got out the house, and that's what I wanted to do. First and foremost was to get out of the house. Thank y'all for being here. Thank y'all for watching. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Peace.